must-win game? That is the question that we're going to break down on the DNVR Broncos podcast today. Rolling with Super Bowl 50 champion Todd Davis, Henry Chisholm, who's rocking a Nuggets sweatshirt.
I watched that Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah? You watched it?
Yep.
Damn.
Super Bowl watcher, Henry Chisholm.
Wow. Yep. Just make sure we have the right right?
Yes.
On Twitter?
Oh, my God.
Is there like...
Wait, Todd, did you hear about that? Oh.
What happened?
So yesterday... we had Pat on. He was on remote, and we had our guy Nik, social media manager, doing clips. So he was live clipping what we were saying with Pat and putting those out. And Henry asked, what was the question you asked, Pat?
I asked Pat because I have Justin Jefferson on my fantasy football team, and he's probably not going to come on next week. Yeah,
go ahead.
Exactly. And so I was like, should I bench him? And he's like, if you want to do what's best for your team.
And so. Just lighthearted, fun thing.
Yes.
So Nik clips that and says, at Pat Surtain says to sit at, and then he meant to say Justin Jefferson, but instead he added, do you have the exact at?
Justin Jet _X, maybe?
Okay, I have it right here.
Oh, okay.
He added at Justin Jet _X. That's not Justin Jefferson?
No.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that X at the end of that person's at stood for?
Explicit.
Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So you pull it up, and it's a near naked dude.
Yep. Adult film star.
Yes,
actually, with a bunch of awards. Yeah, well known.
So you went through his history or what?
No. That's what these guys did.
Yes.
He double checked.
What do you mean? You were the one that sent us the screenshots, Henry.
Yeah, the screenshot of the tweet, not of his profile. Nobody was sending that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Twitter's a wild place.
It really, especially now, it's getting wilder.
Wild West on Twitter.
Because I mean that guy, he was like a verified account.
Yeah.
Which should be
anyone
wrong.
Can be verified.
Exactly,
right?
but Justin Jefferson isn't.
That's true.
Not that I want to defend Nik, because I would never. This is hilarious. But yeah, well then afterward he corrected it. And so he edited the tweet, but he added Justin Jeffer him, who is just like some fan account who has like 900 followers on Twitter.
Two strikes.
Two strikes. I know.
So we just deleted it. We were like, you know what, this is just too much. We've got the screenshots for the fun, but just had to delete it. How did we get here? Oh yeah, because
Todd
got to make sure you have the right
didn't watch
ass.
the show yesterday. Yeah.
No, he did.
I did. I didn't.
Oh, you just missed that part?
Yeah, I saw the
Okay.
clip. I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't clicking on that guy's profile.
Yeah, that's smart.
And Todd actually wasn't here yesterday because you had quite the day and a really cool day.
Yeah, I was at the Air Force Academy with the Broncos. They took some alumni, some cheerleaders. Miles was there, who gets a lot of love, you know. And we had a great day. We were able to go to the airfield and see some young cadets. They were supposed to fly for us, but the clouds were too low, so we didn't get to see the show. But we got to talk to them, hopped in a couple planes. It's kind of tight, man. I can't lie.
You went in the planes?
Yeah. So they let us get in the planes. I feel like I don't know if I can stay there too long. Like my legs would cramp up because it's a tight space. But it was really cool. Then we went and had lunch with all 4,400 cadets at the base.
Damn.
It's really cool because you can see the different years. Like the fourth year are the freshmen, the first years are the seniors, and all the freshmen have to run on the outside of what they call the hill. They can't like walk through the middle of it.
Oh, okay.
They have to carry their bag in their left hand, so you can like spot the freshmen out very easily. But it was just a great time, a lot of love, and then we got to talk to the head of the football coach and the head of football operations for the Falcons. And they go play Hawaii, so just got to chop it up with those guys and had a really good. Nice day.
Man, that's awesome. And their football team is legit. I mean, they suffered their first loss of the season. It was such a brutal game.
Yeah.
But, I mean, before that, they were 8-0. They're still, I mean, they were ranked this past week. I'm sure they're not ranked anymore, but that's a legit football team. And their coach is great.
Yeah, they brought it up a couple times. They were definitely hurt after that last performance. But I think they'll do much better against Hawaii, for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think I could do pretty well against Hawaii, too.
Well, don't go that far.
The Broncos have Jordan Jackson on the team, who played at Air Force.
Yep.
And so I was just talking to him about all that like a week or two ago. It's like a crazy life because, first of all, they keep like changing the rules about whether you're allowed to play in the NFL or whether you have to like actually serve right when you graduate. And so when he was in school, I think the rules changed like 2 or 3 times.
Dang.
And so then he obviously is able to like play in the NFL, and this is his second year now, I think, maybe third. I think second year. Came from the Saints, which we love on this podcast. But as soon as he retires, even if he's like Von Miller, which probably unlikely, but if he is, he's got to like serve in the Air Force because he made that commitment. And maybe there's some amount of money you can buy out of it, but it's pretty crazy to be a part of that football program.
No, I think it is. I think it's really cool though, like being able to play football and still be able to serve your country at some point. And the thing I like about the Air Force is there's so many different fields that you can go into underneath the Air Force. Like not everybody has to be a fighter pilot, so they have like a lot of opportunities for guys that just want to serve.
Yeah, and that's really cool that you went down there, Todd. And make sure to follow Todd's Instagram where all the cool inside pictures. And maybe the coolest thing is you got to kind of fly a fighter pilot.
Just a little bit. Oh, shout out to our friends, all the cadets that I met. We have like maybe 10 or 15 people come up and say that they watched the podcast.
That's awesome.
So shout out to the cadets at the Air Force Academy. Appreciate the love.
Absolutely, and appreciate all that you guys do for us. And you got to do a little flight simulator?
Yeah, man. First time. Well, the second time I landed it perfectly. First time plane crashed. Everybody was
Is it
done.
one of those where like the whole thing will like spin around?
No, it wasn't.
okay.
It wasn't all of that. But it's just you got to be very calm. You can't like overdo it or overcorrect.
Yeah.
It's kind of like skating on ice. You got to like be smooth with it. The first time, planes, the wings flew off the plane. It was bad.
See, I love the ones where like if you like turn, like you can actually go upside down in the thing.
Yeah.
And so like when you're like spiraling down and crashing, it's actually terrifying.
Have you done that?
Oh yeah.
You've been in a real flight simulator where it like flips you?
At like in Seattle, they had one at like the flight museum there. It's like, I think it might be on like the Boeing property. So they have like a whole bunch of like, there's like an old Air Force One, like the president used and all that stuff. But they also have, it's like $20 to use the simulator. They have one in, we went to San Diego this spring. At the USS whatever big boat they have there. I don't have the memory. For like a month
the
after.
USS Big Boat.
Yeah, USS Big Boat. Yeah, for like a month after, I could have told you everything about that ship. Now it's been like 6 months. It's like it was a big boat.
Now
There were
it's
planes on
relative
it.
Big Bird.
Yeah,
in your mind?
probably.
Yeah.
Yep. Just Big Bird, Big Boat.
And then Todd, you capped it off with a little date night at the Nuggets game.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
Got to see a win,
Yep.
but what, like an ugly game on both sides of the ball.
It was all over the place, man. It didn't feel like we were connecting the way we normally connect. And then when we would have a run, I would look up at the scoreboard and we weren't that far ahead.
No.
It was like a 2 or 3 point lead. And I didn't feel like the Warriors were just playing all that great either.
No.
So
I mean, Steph
was
through
grimy.
like 7 minutes had 0 points, maybe even like through the first quarter.
Yeah.
But the Nuggets got the win. That's the most important thing. We're happy that you're back, Todd. And so let's dive into it. I'm just going to ask you guys straight up. Is this a must-win for the Denver Broncos against the Buffalo Bills this week?
I do not feel like this is a must-win, but it could be a big win. With the rest of the schedule, I think there's a lot of winnable games. So if we lost one more, yes, it would hurt, but it wouldn't be the end-all, be-all. But if we do win this, I think for the fans and the national media, I think the sky's the limits for the Broncos. And I think just as a team, if you beat the Chiefs, then you beat the Bills, there's nobody else on the schedule that you can't beat.
Henry seems surprised by his answer.
Yeah.
Is this a must-win?
I think so. Because, I mean, you look at now, they're 3-5. Wow, the bye week really throws you off.
Yeah.
I haven't thought through those numbers. Yeah, 3-5. So you lose 2 more games, and you've got a real chance at the playoffs. And so in theory, this could be one of those 2. And on paper, if you're going to lose 2, this probably would be one of them. Mm-hmm. I just think it's so tough to expect them to go 7-1 down the stretch from that point that you kind of have to get this one. I think that if you're sitting here at 3-6 on Tuesday, it's gonna sting. That's just such a big hill to climb. When if you can go get this win, 4-5 versus 3-6, that's just such a massive difference. And one is a feasible path to the playoffs, even if it's still going to be really tough. The other, you're pretty much doomed.
You just made my argument of why this is not a must-win,
Wow.
Henry, is because this is maybe arguably the hardest game left on the Broncos schedule, and the Broncos can drop 2 more games. So if you can drop 2 more games and still make the playoffs and still do your thing, isn't like the hardest game on your schedule one that you can drop and still be like, okay, now the Broncos have already put themselves in such a bad spot in terms of making the playoffs, starting off 1-5. If they lose this game, they're going to be again in such a bad spot. But it's not like this game is going to be the difference in being in such a bad spot at some point in this year and not being in a bad spot. So this isn't a must-win game. It's close because if Henry, you built it, you would like to have a little extra cushion there with 8 games left after this game. But for me, this isn't a must-win. And Todd, I totally agree with you. This would be a huge win. Yep. Probably if there's any other game that you would say I'd like the Broncos to win this year, outside of an AFC West game, this is definitely the one that you're saying, man, if they can get this one, because then you just, Todd, you broke down the momentum of what it would do for this team. Yeah,
it would be huge for the team. But yeah, I agree. I don't think it's a must win. Henry, I'm sorry, 2-1. Wow. I think we won this one. Because there aren't any harder games in the back half of the season, So
yeah,
they'll be all right. Win or lose.
3-6. Like, that's just so tough to come back from. And honestly, even 4-5, like, there's still a long shot to make the playoffs. But there's at least, what you need 6-2 down the stretch in that case.
Yep.
Again, like, looking at this Broncos team, I expect them to be about 500 down the stretch. And because of this game, there's 9 games left, so it's an odd number. I'd guess they're like 4-5. And the difference between 4-5 and 7-2 is pretty big. That's why, to me, you just got to get this one and at least like your hat's in the ring at this point.
Yeah, that's very fair. And let's actually, Henry, I think there's recent history to show that being 3-6 isn't an impossible task to come back from. And let's jump into that. But what the Broncos are going to have to do is, to make the playoffs, they're going to have to put their work boots on. They're going to have to put their work gloves on and get to work. And no better gloves to put on than Hestra gloves. We've got some gloves. We've got Hestra gloves here.
Like Josie. Yeah.
That's so stupid.
It's so bad.
So stupid.
It's so bad.
You want to recap what happened really quick?
Yeah. This whole thing. So first of all, Todd shot the finger guns for anybody listening on the podcast, which is a cool thing that everybody's done for like forever. But
not just in football, just anywhere.
No, it's just like if you're a cool guy, that's like what you do. Like you're out at the bar, it's like looking at a girl,
Pow, pow, pow.
That's how you pick up girls?
You could, and it would work because it's just a cool thing that people have done for forever. When Josie Jewell did it after a sack that got called back, was that play? Yep. I think that was. Yeah, it was a sack that got called back. He got up and was like doing it because he's the outlaw.
Yep.
And so what outlaws do, like old cowboys, they pull out their little guns, they shoot out of the like. I understand why the NFL took issue with it in some ways, but they fined him $13,000, which is pretty insane.
Yeah.
Like they don't want any gun references. Again, makes sense. Like you don't want people running around with the like whatever. Like it's
with an air gun. Don't pull out the air gun.
That's the thing. But like, it's not even like he was shooting like an automatic weapon or something like that. It's like old-fashioned pistols that he's keeping in holsters on his pockets. Like that's so unthreatening. No offense, Josie. It's a great celebration, but it's like
it's perfect for him, and I was so happy to see it because I've been asking him to do that since I played with him.
Are you gonna pay the fine?
Yeah, has he asked for the $13K?
No, we're not doing that. But I didn't want him to get fined for it because I asked him to do that because he has been the outlaw for so long. Like that's the perfect celebration.
It is. It's ridiculous. I hate that one in particular. And then what I also hate is that first of all, they didn't let him wear the tinted visor, even though he got poked in the eye during practice. And, if he was, I don't know, name a cool football player. Pat Surtain. Pat Surtain gets poked in the eye, is like, hey, NFL, I need the dark visor. They'd be like, oh, you look cool in that. That's fine. But Josie doesn't get the benefit of the doubt, so they say, no, you put on the pink visor. You can wear the pink one. And poor Josie is out there wearing a pink visor, and he is not a guy who gives up.
I don't mind it. I think it looks good.
Josie's a dark visor guy, not a pink visor guy. It just fits his vibe so much better.
With the pink visor and the guns?
Dark visor and the guns. It fits so perfectly. So now he's out there, and they make him wear the visor. They have like the $13,000 fine for just like a simple little cool celebration. That's the first one of those that actually gets to me. Like typically the celebrations, it's like oh, you don't want guys to line up and act like bowling pins and like roll up like, I don't know. I don't need skits in football. Like that's been my take for all this stuff. But when it's just like a simple, cool, like that's a great celebration. Like that could be, if he was a Pro Bowl linebacker, it'd be one of the best celebrations in the league. You know, it'd be like one that the NFL would love to market, but because it's a gun, they can't do that.
Well, the NFL says put those guns away, put those Hestra gloves over your hands to keep them safe from anything.
Yeah.
Don't trash your ski gloves. Don't trash any gloves that you have for outdoor hard work. Make sure to get Hestra gloves. All they've done is made gloves for 85 years. If you have one product and you've been able to do it for almost 100 years, that means that product is damn good. So get yourself a pair of year-round work line gloves for anything that you need. They are going to last, and they're headquartered right here in Arvada, Colorado. So if you want a pair of gloves, go to HestraJobs.us and use the code DNVRJOB to get 30% off your next purchase. And anyone looking to supply their team with high-quality work gloves at a bulk rate can email Josh Jacobson at josh@HestraUSA.com. That's HESTRAUSA.com. Check them out, HestraJob.us.
Wow.
And if you're preparing for the winter, you need to make sure that your roof is protected. You know,
With
the
gloves?
The gloves.
Yep.
That's true.
And then you get a roof.
There you go.
And if you're installing the roof, you probably need the gloves.
Absolutely. I wonder if Red Hawk Roofing uses those gloves.
Probably.
But I do know they use quality materials. They have decades of experience and they have a quick response time. They are the best estimators and contractors in Denver. They are huge DNVR supporters. And we love the winter in Colorado, but the winter is best kept outside. You do not want that winter in your house. So make sure that you have a good roof over your head. They have free in-depth photo reports for all their inspections. Winter is coming, so do not wait to take care of any issue before the big storms hit. Check them out at redhawkroofing.com. Tell them that DNVR sent you.
Okay, so Todd, you were part of this team that I'm going to reference. The 2018 Broncos showed that, yeah, you can be 3-6 and still come back. Now we're going to stop at a certain point because this team didn't finish the season strong. But Todd, the 2018 Broncos you were on got off to almost as bad of a start as this team. You guys started 2-4. You actually start 2-0. Beat Russell Wilson and the Seahawks in week 1 with Case Keenum throwing 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. You took down Russ on the defensive side. But then you went on a 4-game losing streak. You were 2-4. Then you fell to 3-6 at some point in the season. But then you had a 3-game win streak to bring the team back to 6-6. And at that point, the season really was right in front of you guys. Now, what happened that next game was the George Kittle game where he went out for 200 yards in the first half. And then
shut him down in the second.
Yep, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Sanders got injured, I believe, in that game or a week after Chris Harris Jr. got injured, and those were big blows to the team. Ended up losing the final 4 games of the season. But when I think of, like, man, being 3-6, that is a really tough spot to be in. But if you kind of get back to 6-6, which requires a 3-game win streak, it's if you're at 6-6 with the final, what would this be, 5 games left of the season, you've got a shot. Now, you've got to finish really strong, but you look at the schedule. Do you have the Broncos' schedule ready to pull up for us? So let's say the Broncos do lose this game, fall to 3-6. Can they get back to 6-6? Absolutely.
Yep.
You play the Vikings at home. Josh Dobbs, it looks like he's going to be the starting quarterback for them. Josh Dobbs just won NFC Offensive Player of the Week this past week for doing an incredible job coming in off like 48 hours of being with the team. But he was also benched the week before by a different team because he had been bad for a couple of games. So Broncos can easily win that game. Browns at home, because it's at home, you got a shot there. Who knows what type of quarterback Deshaun Watson is. And then you get the Texans on the road. Texans 4-4 right now. We just saw C.J. Stroud come off an incredible game, 470 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, but he's a rookie. You could, especially if this defense is still playing at a high level, you could take advantage of playing a rookie quarterback. Boom, there you go, 6-6, even after losing to the Bills.
Yeah, but I mean, expecting a 3-game winning streak is dangerous. Like, every one of those games to me is just a straight 50-50. Like the Vikings? Absolutely. Like they just went and won a game. They just beat the Lions. Like you're getting Justin Jefferson back, adding him into that offense. Like and part of that
They
is
didn't beat the Lions.
Or sorry, not the Giants either, right? Was it the Giants? Who was that? Was it the Giants?
If it was the Giants,
No, it was the Falcons. It was the Falcons. That's who it was.
Yeah, it was the Falcons. So you just went from like one of the best teams in the NFL to like
The Giants?
no, the
Lions.
The Lions.
There
yeah.
you go. Sorry, teams. But yeah, I mean, they go and beat the Falcons though. Like you're adding Justin Jefferson back into that. Like all of those games to me, expecting wins is pretty crazy. I think. Like, I to me, this is like a 500 team, and those are other teams. They're just kind of like in that jumble that isn't the Cardinals on the bottom end, isn't the Bears on the bottom end, but also isn't the Chiefs or the Eagles or even the Cowboys kind of in that top end up there. Like you just got such a wide middle that I get it's possible to get hot and win 4 or 5 or whatever it is, but getting hot for 2 months versus getting hot for 1 month is very, very different. Like that is so tough to do. And that's why like this story that I found written in 2016, so maybe there have been some since, up to that point, there have been 4 3-6 teams that have made the playoffs in NFL history.
Yeah.
And it's different now because there's an extra team that gets in and there's an extra game that teams play. But if you don't win on Monday, I'm nervous. I mean, I guess I'm nervous even if they do win in terms of their playoff chances, but they're almost doomed at that point.
Todd, where do you fall about this potential 3-game win streak?
I think that is possible. I don't feel like the caliber of teams that they're going to play are going to be better than the Broncos. Yes, we got off to a rough start, but I feel like right now we're better than those teams. And even you talk about the Vikings, you say Justin Jefferson's coming back. I look at that as almost like a negative because you have a guy in Josh Dobbs who's able to play free and find kind of any receiver right now. When Justin Jefferson comes back, he's going to be having to steer down Justin Jefferson. He's going to be forcing him to get the ball, throwing the ball to him. It's going to eliminate his decision-making, kind of make him more so one-dimensional. And like you said, he was just benched from his other team. He's not now a Pro Bowl quarterback. I think, he had a good game, and he may have another one, but at some point I think he kind of falls back into his ways. And I don't think the Broncos should be scared.
At the same time, though, if they go and beat the Saints this week, which is possible, they'd be coming into Denver with a 5-game winning streak.
Oh, I thought you said a 3-game winning streak wasn't possible.
But they're doing. It's not that it's not possible. It's just that if that's your plan, that's not a great plan.
Henry, I agree with you if Kirk Cousins wasn't hurt and out. Because Kirk Cousins, to me, and Justin Jefferson, is the Vikings. Like that now, Josh Dobbs, all credit to him. He just had an incredible game. I think it's much harder to do that on a consistent basis, as he showed with the Arizona Cardinals. Didn't they go out and beat the Cowboys because Josh Dobbs had a great game when he was with the Cardinals? And then he played bad enough to lose his starting job to, who was it this past week that the Cardinals decided to go with?
The rookie.
An undrafted
from
rookie.
Houston.
Nothing wrong with undrafted.
Yeah, you said undrafted. That was aggressive. He was undrafted. Why is he on the field?
Get him out of there.
I mean, it's Kirk
Oh,
Cousins.
no, he's from BYU.
BYU.
No, wait. BYU's Jared Hall. He's the Vikings. It doesn't matter. I think it's the Houston guy.
Henry, that proves my point. Josh Dobbs was benched by him, and that just shows how important Kirk Cousins was to that team.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Vikings, this from Adam Schefter right now says Justin Jefferson said he can't yet put a date on when he might return. He said he wants to be 100% before he returns, but also calls himself day to day. So maybe he's not even a guarantee to play the Broncos. I would think he'd be ready in 10 days, but maybe not. If he really wants to be 100%, and if the Vikings lose and kind of snap their win streak, maybe he does say my health is more important. He's also a guy that doesn't have a long-term contract, and I don't blame players when they don't have a long-term deal and they say, I want to take care and make sure I'm 100% before risking my body for a team that hasn't been willing to invest in me. So why would I invest in them? So that's just an interesting thing to follow. Right now, the Broncos are a 2.5-point favorite on the very early line against Minnesota in a couple of weeks. So I guess it's just how you view those next 3 games.
Yeah, but even, if you're a 2.5-point favorite, then it's like 55-45 that you win.
I think that line is crazy.
You do?
Yeah. See, if it's like Kirk Cousins isn't going to magically come back, right?
No, but if it was Kirk, like it's Russell Wilson on the other side. Like it's not like the Broncos are the super team.
4 interception Russell Wilson.
And how many fumbles though? Like it's not like the guy is playing superstar football out there. Like yes, he is better obviously than Josh Dobbs, but that's not even necessarily the big matchup. Like there is talent on that Vikings team. Like they've got dudes. Like Jordan Addison can get downfield. Like you've got Justin Jefferson. That's just that passing attack that should be able to prop Josh Dobbs up a little bit. Like I just can't. I don't think there's a team in the league where I'd give the Broncos a better than 2-1 chance of winning. Like just because they're not. They've shown that they aren't great. Like they're a 3-5 football team.
This bye week has really changed you, man.
Has it? No.
For one day, man.
Man.
I mean, Henry
But like,
flips.
if you're making like power rankings of the NFL, where do the Broncos fit in? Like, I don't think they're a top 10 team, right?
No, they're middle of the pack.
Exactly.
But
They're in front of some
where-
other teams.
They
Yeah,
are.
separate where they were from the first month of the season, where they were historically bad on defense. They were awful. There's no defending
Yeah.
what happened in the first month of the season on the offensive side of the ball, or on the defensive side. On the offensive side of the ball, they were fine. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, there's really only one game to prove what their identity is, but it was against a damn good Chiefs defense. It was against a Chiefs defense that held the Dolphins to 0 points in the first half this past week.
Yeah.
And then Broncos defense has been only this, I think, second best in the NFL over this past month, only to the Ravens, who are balling out of control right now. 15 points a game. So
Okay.
I think the team right now, I believe what Sean Payton said earlier this week. We're a much better team than we were three or 4 weeks ago. I believe that. I don't just think it's a
100%.
fluky 3 or 4 weeks. I think this team is middle of the pack. I
Exactly.
think the Vikings are way back of the pack now without Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
I think the Browns are they're an extremely hit or miss team. And then the Texans, you have a young quarterback. You have a rookie quarterback who's playing out of his mind, but
Yeah, he's killing it.
he's had highs and lows, incredible highs, but also lows. I think the Broncos have the edge, especially at home against the Browns in all 3 of these games. And I did not feel that way before they beat the Chiefs, but beating the Chiefs changes a lot in my mind.
Yeah, and the way they beat them. So I think we're gonna disagree with Henry again on the show. This is
But I
hot
think we all
podcast
agree.
today.
Middle of the pack. Like, call them the 15th best team in the league right now. But I just don't think that the difference between 15th and 22nd, like that to me is still like a 55-45 matchup in the NFL. Like the gaps just are so slim that so many games basically are just toss-ups.
Call him Hater Henry.
my
Hater Henry
goodness.
over here, drinking the haterade. And if you, oh, baby, we've got a really cool thing to show you. Check this out. What we just got in stock. Yes, Pat Surtain shirt is out, and you can find it in our description. You're here. We'll drop that in our YouTube description if you want to get the shirt. We just got it here. Our guy Mitchell bringing it over. So if you want to get your hands on the Pat Surtain shirt, we finally got it in stock. Check out thednvr.com. Click the link in our description to find that shirt. And also, check out our friends over at Backus and Shanker. If you've been hurt in any sort of accident, our friends over at Backus and Shanker are there to help. Give them a call for a free consultation. They're going to work on your case for free. You only pay when they win for you. So check them out over at 222-2222 or go to coloradolaw.net for our friends over at Backus and Shanker. If you're hurt in an accident, a motorcycle, car, rideshare, pedestrian, truck, they even help if you're injured at work. Give them a call over at 222-2222 to see if you have a case. That's Backus and Shanker.
And head on over to Breckenridge Distillery. Or honestly, I guess you could just go to basically any liquor store around here because they all carry it, because they have some great Broncos whiskey. We've got both on set. Have we had both on set this whole time? I could swear one disappeared for a while.
Yeah.
We must have had to replace it.
Yep.
And I blame the Avs guys for sure. But yeah, so they've got the Ed McCaffrey bourbon. They've got the Alfred Williams bourbon that they helped like pick out and design, the orange and the blue. And you can go check those both out and then vote on your favorite to win Broncos swag or 2 tickets to the Breckenridge Bourbon Whiskey Suite for the New Year's Eve game against the Chargers. So the way you do it is you post your favorite photos to IG and Instagram using hashtag Broncos Bourbon. On December 1st, they narrow it down to 10 favorites. And then there's a fan vote after that for a week to decide who gets the top prize and all the other prizes as well. They've got all sorts of great stuff. The Ricky Seltzers are really popular at the bar. So go pick up some Breckenridge Distillery products. They're available in all 50 states. You can go to your local retailer. You can go to BreckenridgeDistillery.com.
Man, the Rickies are good. So, yeah, definitely check them out. Okay, let's check out our whiteboard. The keys for the Broncos to win and not be in Doom City like Henry thinks they will be.
No,
wow, look at this updated whiteboard. We got a little circle.
I still think they're going 7-1 down the stretch. I just think that's a bad plan.
Well, then let's have it so they don't have to go 7-1. If the Broncos are going to beat the Bills, here are the keys. Lucky 21. I like to find magic numbers, and this is a magic number in this game. If the Broncos get to 21 points, they'll win. That's what the Buffalo Bills have showed this season. They're 5-4 right now, and all of the 4 losses the Bills have had, the other team has scored 22 points or more. So you get to over 21 points, you're going to beat the Bills. In their losses, they've allowed 25 points per game, an average of 25 points per game. In their 5 wins, the Bills have allowed their opponents an average of 12 points per game. So their defense is dominant in their wins. 12 points a game, that is insane. But in their losses, they're giving up over double that, 25 points per game. So it shouldn't be that difficult of an ask to score 22 points on a Bills defense that certainly has talent, but is also missing a lot of guys and hasn't really found their gel yet.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit the next whiteboard topic here. You hear? We've got overpower them.
Yeah, all about the power running game. That's what I see, because honestly, there's a bunch of reasons. The Bills' defense isn't as good this year. I think that's been pretty clear, and honestly, not that surprising, I don't think, because they lose 2 really important pieces. And Matt Milano, who's injured, and Tremaine Edmonds, who left. Those are 2 of the best linebackers in the league, and that's what enabled them to use their nickel defense more than any other defense in the NFL last year. And for the last couple years, they've kind of trended this way. Just almost every play, it's like 95% of the time, regardless of what the offense is running, they were able to put 2 linebackers out there and play a safety in the nickel and occasionally switch it out to a corner when they want to go lighter. And because those 2 linebackers cover up so much, they didn't have to worry about the running game. Now that they lose both those 2 guys, and instead they have an undrafted rookie and
Strong with undrafted guys, Henry.
No, I mean he's
You're
pretty
looking
good.
at you're looking at Tom like he's scared.
They have a rookie.
They have a rookie. They have a rookie.
Rose.
They have a rookie. But neither of these 2 guys are established in any sort of way. I think one's like 225 pounds. The other's like 230, 235. Like, they're really light and they can move. And that's why you just got to get downhill, make them make some reads, and you should be able to run all over them. And that's what other teams have done. I think they're what, like 30th in yards per attempt allowed?
Yeah.
I didn't pull it up quick enough, but I think that's right. That, to me, should just be the entire offensive strategy. Just go heavy, run them over. You're bigger than them, and those linebackers will get confused.
And the closer we get to this game, I told Todd before this, the more scared I am of Von Miller destroying this game. If you run the ball 40 times and you only have Russell Wilson drop back 19 times, not only does that give Von fewer chances, but it also makes Von not be able to 100% focus on his get off, because before most snaps, he's got to think, okay, can I actually get fully upfield and take my full explosion off the line, or do I have to see if there's a run coming at me first?
Yeah, he can't be as aggressive. It definitely slows those outside guys down. I mean, you either run at him, like with pullers, in like the power game, or you want to be able just to slow him down with quick passes. So you don't want him to be aggressive. You want to try to slow him down as much as you can. So if we were able to run the ball, like you're saying, and then pass off of that, we'll be able to kind of trick him into be waiting for the run when we're about to pass.
Yep. Exactly. All right, next key.
I should say, Tyrell Dodson, not undrafted rookie, undrafted a few years ago, but has barely played in his career.
There you go. All right, next whiteboard key. Pick 6?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a game where the defense needs to score. I think the Bills have the ability, I don't know if they'll come with it or not, but they have the ability to score pretty quickly and move the ball downfield. So I think we're going to need to score on defense, and I think I need one of our big-time DBs, Pat Surtain, Justin Simmons, to step up And we need a pick six. We need at least 6 points on the defense to make this a very winnable game for the Broncos.
I love that. Did you mean ability? Was that intentional?
No.
Oh, God. Zach.
I like it,
It
though.
just
I like
reminds
it,
me,
though.
when we were in
Oh,
Chicago,
no.
Henry, how much did they use bear?
Oh, my God. It was unbearable,
Yeah,
honestly.
that's
it was
exactly what
everything.
they did.
What were they were putting
It was unbelievable.
There you go. I bet the Bills used that. What an unbelievable touchdown.
There was like they had the whole video before. It's like, don't embarrass other Bears
Yeah,
fans.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
be not, like, it was in everything they did.
Yeah.
They just try to fit a bear in there. Ugh.
So, Josh Allen has been great this year in every single way except for one, and that's turnovers.
Yep.
Henry, you brought up Russell Wilson's turnovers. You said, well, fumbles. You said, well, Russell Wilson's had his fumbling issues. So is Josh Allen.
Yep.
And in fact, Russell Wilson has fumbled 5 times. Now, not all of them have been lost, but 5 fumbles, 4 interceptions. So that's a total of 9. Josh Allen has 9 interceptions on his own,
Yep.
and then plus 3 fumbles. So Josh Allen turns the ball over more than Russell Wilson, and that's the only weak point in his game. Josh Allen's incredible. We all know the talent there, and he actually has had a much better season than I really thought. But it's just a turnover, so you're spot on. Todd, take advantage of it. When he throws it up, when he puts it on the ground, you got to take advantage of it.
Got to. That's a must. Pick
Yep.
6, baby.
Yep, I love it. All right, next one here. So, small game Gabriel. You guys know Pro Football Reference? How they
Yes.
have some bizarre nicknames next to people's names. Actually, Henry, can you look up if Todd has a nickname according to
Yeah.
Pro Football Reference? But according to Pro Football Reference, I don't know if this is real or not. Gabe Davis's nickname is Big Game Gabe. It's probably from that AFC Championship game where he had like 4 touchdowns a couple of years ago. That was the one where they scored just a little too early and the Chiefs drove the ball down with 12 seconds left to win. But make him small game Gabriel in this game because looking at how the Bills operate, Stefon Diggs is going to get his.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if he has a big game or he's always going to have a good game. But it doesn't matter if Stefon has 100 yards or not. That doesn't impact whether the Bills win or not. Josh Allen doesn't want Stefon Diggs to be upset. So in wins or losses, he's going to feed him the ball.
Yeah.
And Stefon Diggs is going to get his. But when it comes to Gabe Davis, he's kind of the difference in if the Bills win or lose. In the 5 wins that the Bills have, Gabe Davis averages 4.5 catches, 60 yards, and has 4 total touchdowns in those 5 wins. In the losses, he averages half the catches, literally exactly half, 2.25 catches, 34 receiving yards, and he has 1 touchdown. So if the Broncos allow Josh Allen to have success with many different guys, that's when it gets dangerous. Just make it the Stefon Diggs show, and don't be afraid of that. I think Stefon Diggs' best statistical game this year, the Bills lost. So there's no correlation there, but there is a correlation with winning and losing with how Gabe Davis does. So Fabian Moreau, have a game
Big
here.
game. Yep.
Todd does not have a nickname.
Damn.
Put one in there.
Okay, we could probably update that because as long as anybody says it just like once, it'll get in there.
Yep.
So like Peyton Manning has the Sheriff, the Caveman, or Paydirt, which
What is the caveman? Like,
caveman.
obviously, the Sheriff, yes. We
we all
heard
know
that.
the Sheriff.
Do you know of the caveman?
He kind of looks like a caveman. No, that's probably where it comes from.
Probably.
I was looking at a lot of Broncos this morning, and none of them have nicknames. We need to change that. We need to
Wow.
come up with some nicknames for
Yeah.
guys. Okay, next whiteboard for this game is beat Vaughn.
Yeah, you got to have an edge rusher go out there and beat Vaughn. If Vaughn gets 1 sack, you need Nik Bonitto or Baron Browning or somebody to have 2. If Vaughn gets 2, you need one of them to have 3. Like, I think that the Broncos need to have the best edge rusher in this game. Because, I mean, it's like obviously twofold. That means you're not letting Vaughn kill you, and you're also getting after Josh Allen. So that's my final key is you need to have one of your edge rushers have more sacks than Vaughn does.
Okay, really quick, who would that be?
Has to be Baron Browning.
I think so.
He's the best pass rusher we have.
He is.
I totally agree. And actually, it was Zach Allen last week who said some people say Baron Browning is Von Miller-esque, and he is. Now, that's like putting a ridiculous amount of expectation on him. But how about this? In the 2 games Baron Browning's been back, this is coming from Anthony Cover 1 on Twitter. Baron Browning is second in pass rush productivity in the entire NFL. He has 10 pressures, 2 sacks, 2 quarterback hits, 6 hurries, and is 18th out of 200 in qualifying defenders and pressure percentage at 23.1%. So it's like, okay, that's a little crazy to call him Vaughn. In the small sample size that he has, he's great. So can he do it? Can he do it for just more than a smaller sample size? That's going to be what determines if Baron Browning is an elite pass rusher in the NFL or if he's a guy that just doesn't have that consistency.
Yeah, he's. I think he has a little bit of Vaughn's swag to him. I think the celebrations, the way he's able to, get around the edge.
Yeah.
He has big quads.
Yeah.
Both, you know what I'm saying? No, not too many. But, he is a little Von Miller-esque in his approach to the game. So,
and he was working with Vaughn's current trainer, old trainer. I'm not sure. The guy who does all the beach workouts.
Sir.
Yeah. He was working with him this offseason too.
He tried to kill me.
Really?
He tried to kill me. I think I went a couple of times. I'm like, look, I can't, This is different. It's like Green Beret training. It's different.
Those workouts just looked insane. Like, Von Miller doesn't even have nicknames on Pro Football Reference. That's insane.
The Vonster.
Or Quadzilla because of the quads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vonster's the one that I remember.
Who called him Vonster?
I don't know.
That was like around. I mean,
it's just
Reddit, like Twitter, that sort of stuff. Yeah. I mean, people on the internet. That's the only people I talk to. I wasn't talking to Bronco fans up in Montana. That's for sure.
All right, let's get to our final key for the Broncos to win. Where's Diggs?
Yeah, so this is twofold. I think that, we have to know where Stefon Diggs is. He's our best wide receiver, one of the best in the NFL, so we have to be able to locate him and really have Pat travel him. I think that's the game plan we should have because if any other corner is on Stefon, they're going to throw the ball to him. But then also, I would love for this game for people to be like, where's Stefon Diggs? Like, where was he? Was he playing? Was he in the game? Because we did such a good job locking him up. And you say you don't want Josh Allen doesn't want Stefon to be upset. I want him to be upset. I want him to be yelling at Josh on the sidelines, like, give me the ball. Why can't you find a way to give me the ball? I want that, conflict on their team. So we have to eliminate Stefon Diggs.
I love that.
I love that too. And Stefon has shown that he's not afraid to get a little upset publicly and show that. Receivers typically are ones to show that a little more on sidelines.
Okay,
I would imagine, tell me if I'm wrong, Todd, but I would imagine that during a primetime game, if you have that personality already, you want the ball even more during primetime game. So if you're not getting it, you probably get that much more upset if you're not getting it.
Yeah, that's when you throw your helmet at the kicking nets and kicking stuff around. Yeah, he's going to be hot once he gets locked down.
Oh, there was there was that Bleacher Report series where they do like the animated like NFL players and they have like it might have been like Game of Thrones themed.
Okay.
Or maybe it was the NBA one. It was funny. So they have like whatever.
This is you being online.
I've not online enough apparently, but otherwise I know the video and what it's called. But there's like a running bit where they'll just cut to Stefon Diggs and he'll just say Stefon Diggs is disgruntled, and then that's just like it because he's just always upset about something, like and has been upset about something for like forever. Even when he's putting up crazy numbers with the Vikings, he wanted out, which was insane. So yeah. He also did come out and say Stefon Diggs was actually mad at himself when he was throwing his helmet and whatever on the sideline. So believe that if you want.
Good PR work.
Yeah. He was mad at himself.
yeah, exactly. I need some help here, guys. Tonight, awful game on Thursday Night Football. On the surface, we've got Tyler Bagent and the
Tyson
Bagent. Thank you for correcting me. Are they 1-7? Are they 2? No, they're 2 wins, 1 win Bears. Doesn't matter. Terrible
2.
Bears team
going
up against the 1-win Panthers team with Bryce Young, and the Bears are without their starting quarterback Justin Fields, playing with a rookie quarterback. They're without their starting running back as well, and they have an awful defense. They are 3.5-point favorites over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Going up against, I know the Panthers are bad on offense. On defense, but they have the number 1 overall pick in Bryce Young. If
Yep.
the Panthers are going to win another game this year, it's this one. I love the Panthers in this game. Right now, they're plus 140 over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Am I crazy?
If they had Justin Fields, I'd be right with you. But like, if with Bajan, I'm going with the Bears.
Give me a break.
Wow.
You are
Yeah.
the biggest
I'm not-
Justin Fields hater.
I just, I think they're about to go on a run. It's gonna be just disgusting in Chicago. Like, Bajan's gonna go win them this
Heck
game.
no.
Maybe they even pull off like the upset against the Lions.
Give me a
and then all of
break.
a sudden, everybody's gonna be like, "Wait, do we have to put Justin Fields back in?" And it's gonna be toxic. Yeah, Bajan's gonna get hot here, and Chicago's
what
gonna
you-
like burn to the ground.
So what you're telling me is the Bears can go on a winning streak, but the Broncos still can't.
No, they can't. I mean, I just 7-1 is just such a big
I'm
ask
just
for a
saying, you
3-5
said
team.
Bajan's gonna burn Chicago down with how great he's gonna play, and they're gonna go on a run.
But that's just because Justin Fields is so bad.
Oh, my gosh.
The Broncos
Give
don't
me a
have
break.
that sort of force where they don't have a bad player they could bench that would get the team leveled up.
Oh my God! I wonder what's going through the minds of the Bears organization, because they probably don't want either one of these teams to win any games.
Exactly.
They want us both to lose.
Yeah, that's a great point.
We need those
tie?
first 2 picks.
Could a
Yeah.
tie help them out? I don't know. Maybe they start running clock in overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. So, Henry, you're telling me that the quarterback that's put up an average of 15 points per game over the last 2 weeks has thrown
Yeah.
2 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
Is that Bryce Young?
And 2 fumbles. We're talking 7 turnovers in the
Wow.
past 2 games.
Yeah.
He's better than Justin Fields.
Hey, I've just got a good feel for this league.
Hey, check his coffee, man. We got to see
Yeah,
what's in there.
seriously.
Bryce Young's coming off 1 touchdown, 3 picks last week, 48 passer rating.
He did.
Yeah, but that's still half a turnover less than Tyler Bajan has averaged over the past 2 weeks.
Hey, it's gonna be an ugly game. Like I said, I'm not watching this. Oh my god.
You're not watching
Oh, I
this.
guess
It's football.
this is the game that. Oh, I'm doing something with my girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
yeah,
fair. Smart.
yeah. Yeah, you got to pick a night. I was like, this is probably the one. But yeah, also Justin Fields.
We
He
need to
got
put-
hurt in that game.
We
but
need
it's
to put something
36
on the line
rating.
for this one.
Cool.
What?
Oh,
Think about it. Think about
Todd
it.
still owes me from that Montana win over
We're
Sac
talking
State
about
this
what-
weekend.
We're talking about what you guys are betting. That
No,
has
but
nothing to do with me.
it just brings a smile to my face
That has
whenever it crosses my mind.
nothing to do with
they
me.
all of Montana has to do. This is the best Montana team. Like, I don't even think they've been ranked this high since I was like in high school, junior high maybe. So I'm hyped, and they're gonna go beat the Cats next weekend. They're gonna be number 2 in the country going playoffs. That's a separate thing though.
Why don't you think about it?
Yeah, we'll think about
And
something.
if you can't think of anything, well, I'm just going to put even more money on the Panthers over at DraftKings Sportsbook. I got them at plus 130. They've now bumped up to plus 140. But if you want to get in on the action, go to DraftKings Sportsbook. And if you bet $5 on anything, new customers are going to give $200 in bonus bets to instantly, so that you can just use bonus bets to win money on the Panthers. You can you use that money to bet on the Broncos this coming week. We got a full Sunday of no Broncos football, so I'm going to be placing a lot of bets on non-Broncos to keep me involved. So check out DraftKings Sportsbook. Use the code DNVR over at sign up, and make sure to download the app. It's an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and use that code DNVR over at DraftKings Sportsbook. I need to find the rest of this read.
Ooh, while you do that, if you want
Yes.
actual good bet tonight, Dante Foreman to just whatever his rushing yards are, take the
59
over.
and a half.
That's ridiculous. He might go for 100 tonight. I might even take like an alternate line. Like that, the fact that they were not using him all season is just mind-boggling. It makes you wonder if they really are just tanking. Like the running backs, I can't remember who there's. Like
Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, Khalil Herbert, Roshan Johnson, I think was getting touches over him. Meanwhile, they go get a legitimately good, big power back, and they're finally unleashing him, and I think that's what's really going to carry him. If you want like a good
Dante
take.
Foreman. He's been really good when he's played.
Yeah. That's been true last year, too.
Yeah, exactly.
When McCaffrey
When
left,
he
yeah.
was with
The numbers were
Panthers.
insane.
How about that?
He was putting up like 100 yards a game or something.
All right, what else do we have?
We got our friends at Breckenridge Brewery.
Let's go.
The official beer of the DNVR. They got the Broncos Country Pale Ale right there, always on set. Got to keep them close to us because we love them so much.
Yes.
You can go to breakbrew.com for their beer locator so you can find where any break brew is sold near you. And they've been doing it for a long time, over 33 years, and they have a love for great beer. They have tons that you should try, which is like the Fun Slinger, the Good Company Hard Seltzer, which is very popular right now. And if you're looking to watch some calories but also get a little buzz, Hard Seltzer is always the way to go. I told you about the Broncos Country Pale Ale, and right now they have a way for you to win fun games and prizes. They have the opening day parking lot party. You know what? That already passed. That was on November 3rd. If you missed it,
I love that when that happens.
if you missed it, you missed a great party. So go check them out at breakbrew.com for their beer locator.
All right. And speaking of missing things, I missed this with the DraftKings read, so I've got to read it. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.100gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. Licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles, Louisiana. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. How many days is that, Henry?
7.
There you go. You quick learner. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/sportsbook for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. All right. Before we get out of here, let's talk to the people. You hear? And also, right before we talk to the people, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit us with a thumbs up. We got a lot of people watching and not many thumbs up. If you're watching live, it really helps us out. If you're watching after the fact, a thumbs up also still helps us out a lot. So drop us a like, helps us a lot. If you're listening on the podcast side, hit us with a 5-star review, whether you're over at Spotify, Apple, somewhere else. That helps us a lot too. We really appreciate everyone tuning in and appreciate the support. You hear any super chats? No super chats. We do have some comments on the website though. First one coming in from Scott10. He says, here's a pro tip from a cop. Okay, this was mostly directed at Ryan, who had his car broken into over this weekend.
Oh, dang.
That's not fun.
Here's a pro tip from a cop. He says, it's honestly kind of a better strategy to leave your car unlocked with nothing in it. This way they won't break the window. They'll go through your stuff and then leave. They're looking for 2 things, guns and money, and credit cards as well. Wow.
Wow.
All right.
Would you leave your car just unlocked?
Heck no.
I know that seems like a really bad idea, but he's a cop, and
He is a cop.
I'm just me.
Yeah.
Like, and I trust him. I don't think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. He says,
It makes sense.
I know this is a fun place, but this seems like a good time for some advice. Do not, I repeat, do not confront these people breaking into cars. They're all armed with guns, and most will not hesitate to shoot. It's not worth it. That's all. Be safe.
Did you say gums?
I meant guns.
wait. I gotta play devil's advocate. How do we know he's a cop?
How do we know he's not
What if
breaking
he's
in?
robbing? Like, do not confront these people. They will kill you.
Yes.
Leave your car unlocked.
Don't mess with anybody breaking into.
I will say though, 3 years ago, my truck got stolen. We chased it down the street and we got shot at.
Oh,
so that's
dang.
really actually good advice. Like,
So you saw them take your car and
2
you...
days later we saw the car. We chased it down.
They like drove back by where they stole
No, we
it from?
just saw it randomly and we're like, screw it, we're gonna chase them. We chased them, turned around and bam, bam, bam.
Oh my gosh.
If I stole a car, I would take that thing way away from where I stole it from.
Uh-huh.
I
But
totally
yeah, I'm
agree.
not like a thief or anything. I'm just me. Like, if that's what the thieves do, I can't argue with that either. I really think that this guy's a thief, though, and not a cop. Todd makes great points.
So great. So I've already said how just this week how my first car was stolen twice. Got it back both times. One time, my mom's car, which was parked in the garage, she goes in the garage on a Saturday morning, 8 a.m., opens her car door, and there's someone sleeping there.
What?
And the guy looks at her and goes, "What are you doing?" She goes, "What am I doing?" And then like, "What are you doing?" And then like leaves right away, obviously, like runs away. And
What are you doing?
then like this
Close
dude
my
had
door.
just been like sleeping in the car because she took this guy's advice and just left the car unlocked in the garage.
Yeah.
And there was like, yeah, it was just, she was like, "There's someone in my car right now," but he like left, but just so weird.
Have you seen the other guys?
No,
The
is that
movie
a-
with Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When his car gets stolen, and then the homeless people Yeah. It's like an orgy in the car.
Oh, wow.
That was the first thing that came to mind when I thought, like, leave the car open. It's like, what if they were trying to get things out of it? They're trying to get in.
They're trying to get in.
Well, we'll need a follow-up from our friend the cop.
Yeah.
But what's his name?
N. Scott 10.
N. Scott
He's
10.
been rolling with us for a long time.
Okay.
I don't know if he's mentioned yet that he's a cop. So.
Oh, yeah, no. If I just need some more information to back up what we've heard here.
M. Moogie 94 taking us home. He says, hey, y'all, with the talk of Vaughn being the face of the Rocky Mountain region a couple days ago, it got me thinking, is Justin Simmons Mr. Denver right now? We all know AG is Mr. Nugget, but Simmons is at Nuggets, Avs, and also maybe Mammoths games. He's also very involved in the community. And
Can't say he's not there.
It's true.
Maybe.
And has been our Walton Payton Man of the Year candidate many years. I strongly believe that if Justin Simmons played for a winning franchise in a big market, he would have won Man of the Year 2 years ago as well. Anyways, let me know what y'all think. Thanks. Justin, speaking of him being at Nuggets games, was at the Nuggets game last night. Did you run into him?
No, I didn't run into him. We were in and out. I saw him. I saw Tim Patrick there too.
Yep.
A couple other teammates maybe sprinkled throughout the game. But yeah, I think if he was playing and the Broncos were winning, I think maybe. But I think right now, I think Jokic is like the man in Denver.
It's just so tough to argue.
They just won. He's the most dominant. He's the person that makes basketball look the easiest I've ever seen. So
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's definitely the man right now.
Yeah.
Todd, do you feel small being at Nuggets games? Small, like physically,
Nope.
when you see the Nuggets? No?
Nope.
Do you ever feel small?
I wasn't calling out your muscles. I should say, do you feel short?
Those guys are pretty tall. I can't lie.
Because you probably have rarely ever felt like short in life. I was thinking that might be like the only place where you do.
Yeah, those guys are pretty tall.
Yeah.
Is there a place where you feel big, Zach?
My mom is a kindergarten school teacher. So when I visit class,
That would be so fun.
that's it.
You go play some football with him or something?
Then I'm like that gym teacher, that just dominates the kids.
That's like that reminds me of that Family Guy episode where they're talking about how many kindergartners could you beat up or take on?
We haven't played How Many Zacks in quite a while. That used to be like a trend. It was like once a week it'd be like, how many Zacks would it take to tackle Derrick Henry? That was a good one.
How many?
Is it 5? Is it like 15?
How many do you think of me it would take to tackle you if you're the running back?
Like we're just running like head on, like Oklahoma drill style.
Oklahoma
I don't
drill.
want to think about this actually.
So a couple of you.
A couple? Okay,
a
I'll
couple
take
of
that. I'll take
Yeah.
that. That could mean 2, right?
I mean,
could mean.
technically a couple means 2.
could, yeah.
So there's a few of you.
I'm not going to press you anymore. We're just going to end on that note. And because Broncos are playing on Monday night, we're doing a Friday pod tomorrow to give our final picks. I know Henry's picking the Broncos to get blown out in this game.
No, I'm not.
But is Todd going to pick them to win? I'm curious to find out. We'll find out tomorrow on the DNVR Broncos podcast. Thank you all so much for rolling with us.
We all silly like the mayor.